What's going on, guys? Jacoborth back here with another video of Jacob's Life in Vegas. Come and do something. It's just kind of fun. I just want to do kind of this fun video today because this just happened. And I'm like, you know what? I'll throw this out there into the world and we'll see. I'll throw this out there in the universe and we'll see what happens. But this just was news that came out about Elon Musk buying Twitter. So I thought this was interesting, and I did quote tweet this when I saw it on Las Vegas locally on his Twitter account. So let me go to my actual tweet here. Oh yeah, and by the way, Tacos El Gordo across from Town Square being built right now. Construction's coming along well, looks like. So I saw this on Las Vegas locally. Elon Musk just bought Twitter for $44 billion. So I said, how long until Elon Musk makes an offer to buy Las Vegas? And, I'm getting quite a few responses here from people throwing in their opinions saying, he could be the next Howard Hughes, says Rick. Others throwing in, a few jokes and that kind of thing. Las Vegas locally says he should buy Trop LV and work his way north, which is kind of what made me think of doing this video. Someone here said it could be the first ever meme casino. That's the way to attract the young crowd, which it definitely could. Williams says he already owns Reno. This is in regards to the reference to the factory up there. This was news 5 years ago, something like that. I could be off. I don't know. I've been doing YouTube for a while. But the factory up in northern Nevada, that's just outside of Reno, just outside of Sparks. So it's a 25, 30-minute drive from Reno, a little closer if you live in Sparks, to get to the factory up there. So that was news, I want to say about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, something like that, when that came to northern Nevada. And if you remember when Elon Musk was getting ready to leave California, he was looking at Nevada or Texas, and he did choose to go to Texas because either way, he wasn't going to pay state income tax. But here in Nevada, I mean, think about it. This kind of like, kind of a suggestion or a joke here in the Twitter thread. And I'll link this tweet of mine down in the description or down in the comments, and you guys can chime in on this if you want to throw anything in. But someone else said, Poop and P says a legit question to be how long before he builds a casino here. And that could certainly be the case because you look at his net worth. $265 billion, basically. Now, he doesn't have $265 billion in cash sitting in a vault or a bank somewhere. These are all his assets that he has. So businesses he owns. I mean, you can add Twitter to that one now. And businesses he owns and things like that. So, this is what his net worth is right now. I mean, he's even, got Jeff Bezos beat. I remember like being a kid when Bill Gates was worth like 40-something, 50-something billion, and that was incredible. It was like Carlos Slim, Bill Gates, and Warren Buff are always like the top three. But you look on Elon Musk now, I mean, he's got more than enough money that he could definitely build a casino here in the Vegas area, or he could just buy one. Because you look here, to put things in perspective about how much money he actually has, to help put this in perspective as it relates to Las Vegas, look at this. So if you guys remember this from 2019, yeah, towards the end of 2019, going into 2020, before the world went into chaos. Talks about Bellagio's $4.2 billion sale, maybe the most expensive in Las Vegas, most expensive Las Vegas resort deal. And they give this cool little chart right here that shows like the hotel bill for all these different properties in Las Vegas when they were bought. So Bellagio here is at the biggest, being $4.2 billion. You have Cosmo's $1.73 billion. New Frontier was $1.2 billion. Circus was $825 million back in 2019 when Phil Ruffin bought it. And then you have Treasure Island, which actually Phil Ruffin already owns, or he's owned that since 2009, it looks like, for $775 million. Fontainebleau, someone bought that for $600 million in 2017. So you're looking at how much these places cost. Palms is what, $313 million in 2016. So I mean, if you take a look at a map of the Las Vegas Strip, and whoops, let's do this right here. So I'm on LasVegasDirect.com. Thank you for the awesome map. To be looking at the Strip, I mean, I counted these up before the video. If you count all of these in red, I mean, this is 39, basically, let's say rounded up to 40 properties. So you have 40 properties here. And then you have all these smaller ones that are in black. Travelodge, right? Signature, the Orleans, Gold Coast, Super 8, all these kinds of things. I mean, if the most expensive casino sale, we're looking at here one of the more recent ones, one of the more expensive ones in Las Vegas history, $4.2 billion. Even if all of these properties here were, say, $4 billion a piece, which they're not, to buy, we're looking at $160 billion. I mean, he's got it. he could do it. He could pull it off. Because, I mean, someone like this, with people at this level of wealth, they're playing a finance and tax game that, you know, we don't even understand. That, like, you and me do not even understand the game and the options that, you know, people at this level of wealth and income actually have. So, but, you know, it's just kind of a fun idea to throw out there and look at, to think, hey, if you want to, you could certainly buy Tropicana and buy more properties along the whole way. I mean, he could buy MGM Resorts' entire Vegas portfolio. He could buy Caesars Entertainment's entire Vegas portfolio if he wanted to. So, I mean, the guy's got plenty of money to do it. He could obviously get other people to put in money, but there's no shortage of income for him if you want to actually buy something here in Las Vegas. And that would be very interesting if he did, because one of the big criticisms of the Las Vegas Strip over, well, it's been a number of years now, people have been criticizing this, is that, you know, it's basically not quite a monopoly. MGM is the biggest, and they do have the most influence without a doubt. What goes on the Strip. I remember they were the first ones to start charging for parking, and then Caesars followed them, and then Wynn Resorts followed briefly, but then they got rid of it. You know, so other places, even some places off Strip, have charged for parking and that kind of thing, when that was free forever in Las Vegas. You know, to valet your car was free. To charge, to pay to park was unheard of in Las Vegas. And there's still properties that do that. But, you know, MGM, they're one of the ones who were several years ago before COVID, was seemed to be like every other week I was doing a video about them raising resort fees, because they're the big player. They're the big kid on the block. They're the biggest employer in the state of Nevada. So MGM is the biggest, but right behind them is Caesars. They're the next biggest. Between these two, they basically have a duopoly on the Strip. These two, you know, have most of the properties. They've got most of the influence here on the Strip. So if, you know, Elon Musk came in and either bought something, and he could buy Tropicana for sure, but if he bought something like from their portfolio, I mean, he's obviously got more than enough money to have some influence on the Strip and how the Strip operates and be competitive with all these other massive corporations. So that would just be interesting to see if that were ever to happen. Who knows? Maybe in a few years he will. It would not shock me at all if in the next few years he did either build a casino on the Strip or he chose to buy one on the Las Vegas Strip here. It would not shock me one bit. So, I mean, tell me what you guys think about this down below. This is huge when it comes to Elon Musk buying Twitter for $44 billion. Mainstream media is probably going to hate him now. They're probably going to hate his guts. So this should be an interesting ride to see what happens. But, I mean, when you're this wealthy, you have this much influence, you've already got, you know, a presence here in the state of Nevada, up in northern Nevada, and who knows what else? Who knows what will happen the next few years if he starts expanding into other areas? So, you know, who knows? Maybe it'll eventually say, "Welcome to the fabulous Musk Vegas" on the Las Vegas sign. So, tell me what you guys think about it down below. If you think Elon Musk will buy anything here in Las Vegas in the next few years, or if he will just build something on his own, or what else he will bring here to Las Vegas. I mean, he's already got, you know, the tunnels underground and all that kind of stuff that have been worked on. So who knows? Maybe he'll expand his presence even more here in the state of Nevada, because he's definitely doing it in other places. But tell me what you guys think about this down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I am Jacob, and this is My Life in Vegas.